To the town of our free rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. The stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip.
So, this is a review for a mod that combines two games together. Those games being two of the greatest first-person RPGs ever made, Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3. This is a review of version 3.2, so if there's a newer version out, assume that this review is no longer accurate. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas are, by all accounts, a post-apocalyptic Oblivion. And for you Zoomers that don't know what a real RPG is, Oblivion is Skyrim's dad. Now that Skyrim isn't, by any accounts, RPG, it's just not my kind of RPG, it's a bit too simplistic. I'm supposed to be talking about Tale of Two Wastelands, not Todd Howard's Leavings, so let's actually get into it here. So, Tale of Two Wastelands, or as I'll be referring to it through most of this video, TTW, is a mod for Fallout New Vegas to introduce Fallout 3 and all of its DLCs into New Vegas. It's been in development since, from what I found, about 2012. TTW is possibly the largest mod for Fallout New Vegas ever. It requires legitimate copies of both Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3. If you're interested in downloading it, I'll link the Tale of Two Wastelands website in the description. It's not your average mod, and it has quite a few steps to install, but I recommend you watch the download guide on the download page for the mod. It helps so much. Okay, so it's Fallout New Vegas, so the graphics aren't really anything special, and the game doesn't really do much to make it prettier. I think it does some tweaking of the level of detail, or LOD, which affects how much you can see on the horizon. But if you've played default Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas, you know exactly how the game's gonna look. You can install texture packs or whatever if you want, but I really recommend you figure out if the pack you want to use has TTW support, or at the very least patches for TTW. This mod does something I didn't expect. On top of the voice files being intact from Fallout 3, they also added Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 ambient music, which works very well in both the Capital Wasteland and the Mojave. Other than that, the games have their respective soundtracks intact. All the sound effects are vanilla as far as I can tell. Fuck, took me like 12 fucking takes for that, Jesus Christ. Have you ever wanted to play Fallout 3, but would prefer to play more like New Vegas? Well, you're in luck. Tale of Two Wastelands implements all of New Vegas' mechanics and gameplay elements into Fallout 3. You heard right. Iron sights, ammo crafting, survival, hardcore mode. It's all there on top of things from Fallout 3. You can choose to start in the Mojave or in DC, although the mod does recommend you start in DC for story-making sense reasons. The way you travel between the Wastelands is this brand new location called the Union Station that runs between DC and Vegas, and for the low price of 100 pre-war money, you can get to Vegas or back to DC. So that's great. The only issue that I have with this is modability for TTW is limited due to the way the mod is. I understand why it's like that, but it's saddening nonetheless. While you're unable to download anything that changes the game too much, most mods that add models or textures should be fine, and some quest mods work as well. I once had a small issue for the Pit DLC in Fallout 3, where after trying to infiltrate the pit by dressing like a slave, my game crashed. After reloading a save, I tried killing everyone at the gate, and it didn't crash that time, so I guess that's the canonical way you get into the pit. Either way, if you need help modding, the Tale of Two Wastelands forums has a bunch of pages regarding modding and mods that work with TTW. If you haven't played either Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 3, I highly recommend you do. Fallout New Vegas has quite possibly the greatest and most choice-filled RPG storyline I've ever played. And Fallout 3's story, while being very railroaded, is a very fun and interesting storyline. I insist you guys find copies of Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas and attempt to play them, because they are probably one of the only games that I give a 10 out of 10 to. On that note, this has been my not very in-depth review of Tale of Two Wastelands. I recommend you give it a try if you have moderate knowledge of Fallout modding and have several hours to kill. At least on my computer, it took 6 hours to install, but as you may know from the Heroes and Generals review, that's because I have a very old AMD hex core, which really not great for anything that requires multi-thread instancing at all. But frankly, it takes a long time to download either way. I've heard reports of this mod taking 2 to 3 hours on slightly higher end Intel processors. So, you know, if you don't have a very good processor, it's going to take a while. Also, if you can run Fallout New Vegas at a base like 30 to 40 FPS, it might chug a slight amount in the FPS region, but frankly, I'd say it's worth it, just for the fact that you get to play Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas in the same game, on the same save, which is unprecedented. If you are going to install it, I highly recommend you watch the install guide by Gamer Poets. They did a incredibly in-depth installation guide, and it is very helpful and very useful. Even if you've been modding Fallout New Vegas since 2011, you should really probably still follow that install guide. It's just so finicky that sometimes you can just mess yourself up, and there's nothing you can do about it. So anyways, I'm going to start introducing quote-unquote final scores. And I'm super... I can't look at this game non-biasly, so since it is my favorite 2 games hot glued together, my final score naturally is a 20 out of 10. If you need the math for that, 10 plus 10 equals 20, and we're rating out of 10, so 20 out of 10. There we go. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Stay tuned for something. I'm not going to tell you what it is, and it's probably not going to be out for a few more months, but stay tuned for something. If you guys want to keep updated, subscribe. If you guys want to like the video, that helps more people find it. And if you hate my my long rambly bits at the end here that I always tend to do, recently at least, maybe give it a dislike, because then I'll know to stop doing these long rambly bits. And frankly, it's a win-win, because if I know not to do the rambly bits, and you tell me not to do the rambly bits, it's pretty good, you know? Video interaction is the #1 key in the algorithm here. So even if you guys comment, "Logan, for the love of God, stop doing the long rambly bits. We hate them. We hate them so much. Please, for the love of God." Then I'll stop doing the rambly bits. So you guys don't you guys don't have to experience the rambly bits anymore, and I get higher video interaction. So you know what? It's really a win-win. I've been prattling on for about 3 minutes now. The review has been over for 3 minutes. I think I'm gonna stop talking now. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you watched this far, I love you. You're my new son. I don't care if you're a woman, you're my son now. Goodbye.